What's up, guys? This is a sketchbook I did from 2017, summer of 2017, I believe until the winter of 2018. A lot of people have asked me to do sketchbook tour videos. I've been kind of hesitant because they're fairly personal and I don't really like to share them too much. But I figured I'd give it a shot. I'm going to start with some older ones. I have even older sketchbooks than this. They're just in storage right now. So if you guys like this one, I'll actually start from my oldest sketchbook at some point and then go all the way through up to the current. But let's get started with this one first. Okay, so this is a Moleskine Art Sketchbook. Pretty big fan of these. They're expensive, so I don't get them too often. I usually get them, every couple sketchbooks I go through, I'll consider getting one of these, but they're really expensive, so I don't like to spend the money on them. I don't treat them like precious objects. So when I get a sketchbook, the first thing I do is I completely destroy the front 2 pages immediately. And what that does is it helps prevent me from treating it like a precious object and preventing myself from trying things and experimenting and doing things that allow me to progress my art. That's what sketchbooks are for. They're supposed to be a catch-all for all things, all things creative in your mind, whether it be inspiration, doing studies, jotting down notes, grocery list, whatever. It goes in a sketchbook typically. The front of this one, I had a bunch of tags and lettering I did, messing around with some spray paint. I used to clean all my caps out. I used to clean them out in my sketchbook for all the mural stuff. I would literally just take caps that I had soaking in thinner, would spray a color through it, and that's what some of this is. Some of it's when a can's almost dead, I would spray it in here. But I really wanted to experiment doing more mixed media stuff in sketchbooks at this time. So I also have a bunch of sticker samples. These were from Sticker App. So this is like all the stickers that they offer. In the front here, this was kind of a fun one. It's like a little character face I did, where I just spray painted a dot of pink and then used a brush pen and some paint markers that I had left over, did these little faces. This one's kind of cool. This is actually when I first got an airbrush, my very first airbrush. I had no idea what I was doing. I wanted to mess around with it and see what was doable. So I actually sprayed a bunch of the Tamiya paint in here. It's like that flat black paint that I love, and some gold, and then used a gel pen. So I just sprayed randomly and then drew this monster out of the shape. I do that a lot actually as a drawing exercise. When I don't know what to draw, I'll fill a random area with a shape or a blob of color and try to make something out of it. I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I don't know why, but I just really enjoy it. Okay, on this side, we got some little brush pen doodles. I think around this time actually, it was getting closer to Inktober, so I was preparing for that. So this page here, this is actually the original Skelegore art for my Skelegore bootleg toy. It's based off of some old PAL skateboard art. Anyone that's a skateboarder has seen this skull before and they know the skull and sword. I did a digital version of this. I'll put a little still of it in the video so you guys can see it. But yeah, it was super cool. I wanted to get these cards printed and do official, card-backed figures and everything, but just didn't have the extra funds at the time to do it. I wanted to do a black and gold card with a plastic bubble and everything, but I don't know. I found the mold recently. It's a little damaged, but I might bring this one back if anyone's interested. This one's a fun one. This little slime monster. Just messing around doing stippling. I used to love doing these massive stippling drawings. This is the Preacher Creature notes. So this is right around when I did my Preacher Creature toys. If you haven't been following me on Instagram or you're not familiar with my work, I do a lot of novelty resin bootleg toys. And Preacher Creature is one, and this is like my first bit of notes talking about what was going to go on the back of the card. Have some studies, some other little paintings and sketches. The original drawing for this actually was put in the Boston Hassel Shellustration newspaper section. I drew it, and like forever later, they got in touch with me and wanted to use it. I think they found it on Instagram. Yeah, it's just kind of hard. My sketchbooks are all over the place. I have like studies here, and they're just full of little drawings. I don't do full pieces of my sketchbooks that much anymore. I typically do a lot of small sketches and doodles and notes of things that I like, or I'll experiment with something from doing a study of another artist. All that stuff just kind of goes in on these pages. I mean, I have like a wolf head here, and like these little Zelda bombs, Pikachu ears, and like a fish and an eyeball, a sketch of Boomer, a dragon head that I started but didn't finish, another wolf head, like roses, eyes, some snake fangs here. They're all over the place. The wolf dragon, I wanted to do a full flash sheet of this, but I never got around to it. This is a study from a drawing I found on Pinterest. I thought it was really cool. I just liked the style and how graphic it was, and just started doing a little quick sketch of it. And so it's good to do that. It's good to kind of emulate other art and illustration and artists that you like, to kind of learn what you like about their stuff and how you can incorporate it within your own styles and your own pieces to sort of expand and grow as an artist. You learn a lot from doing that. This is a sketch of one of my friends. This was part of a Inktober contest type thing. This was Craig Gleason's Bad Guys Club. These are based on his original characters, and this is my interpretation of one of them. Same with this one here. I actually did full-on illustrations with watercolor paper, and these were just where I had the sketches and I transferred them to watercolor paper and did my illustrations on those. I don't know if I can find those anymore, but if I can, I'll put them in the video. Some more stuff from the Bad Guys Club. Sometimes it's cool to do drawing challenges. That one I'm kind of over it because all the figures end up looking the same and all the characters look kind of the same. When you're doing a drawing challenge like that, it's hard to deviate from what the original design is because you want to have a drawing for the day. So a lot of them just end up looking just like his characters, at least for me. At the time, I didn't have enough free time to draw and do too much of an original idea, so kind of sucked for me that year. Some more studies, these little rat heads. I really like these actually a lot. Those are fun, kind of weird. This eyeball poker one was also part of the Craig Gleason drawing type challenge. I really like this one a lot, and I wanted to do my own sculpted version. Again, no time. Some more from that challenge. A little squid drawing. This is another page from that challenge. A lot of my pages are also upside down. In my sketchbook, I'm left-handed, so I rotate my sketchbook a lot. I mean, a lot of artists will rotate their sketchbook to a more comfortable side, but I do it kind of often, especially with the spiral bound stuff. I'll rotate it a lot. It's just a habit. We have some more Boomer sketches. This was for the Speak No, See No, Hear No Evil candles I wanted to do. I had the 3D models designed and ready to go into production, but at the time I didn't have the funds to do it. This is something I actually might bring back for the holiday season. If people are interested, I would do a Kickstarter on them, but it's just it's not as expensive as making a vinyl toy. These are some other dissected Boomer sketches. I actually did these drawings during a art show for Artplug Boston. You guys should go check them out. Kind of fun. This is Designer Ghost. A lot of you guys are familiar with Designer Ghost from my stickers that I've put out, the reflective ghost sticker. This is one of the first sketches of Designer Ghost. It's kind of funny to see it now. Another original character here, the Smoking Kills, the Cowboy Killer toy. I was going to make this out of resin, and when I was sketching this up and starting to sculpt it, someone had recently released a cigarette box vinyl toy. I can't remember the artist, but I didn't want to look like I was riding on that wave, even though the characters are completely different and they don't have the same feel or vibe at all. But I just didn't want to be sort of associated with, taking that artist's work and whatnot, so I didn't do it. But it's been plenty of time now. I think I might actually try to put this one out this year. It'll definitely be just a resin piece and look more like this than this. My old sort of wavy line style. I used to use a lot of brush pens. I'm gonna try. I was obsessed with this red ballpoint pen also in the sketchbook. I don't know why. I was just drawing with it a lot. I draw in red all the time. but this red ballpoint pen, it's like a little standard plastic Bic pen, one of my favorites. But I draw on those a lot. I haven't as of recently. I've been using more textured paper, and I just don't like how it looks on the textured paper. Some graffiti letters. I usually do a page like this every few months where I'll do a full page of letters and then ink it out, but this one I never finished. This was a cool page, actually. This is a lot of experimentation of using different medias in my sketchbook. I drew a piece here I didn't like, and then I taped around it, put in all this, all the acrylic wash. I was using these little paint markers for this green alcohol-based marker. Really liked how this looked on top of the gouache. See this cool sort of reflective letter look. Pretty awesome. Some more colored pencil, some gel pen, these gray colored pencils, the Faber-Castell colored pencils, one of my favorites. Really big fan of those. I want to do more stuff like this in some future sketchbooks. More of the gouache and the gel pen and some marker, some gel pen with some washed in gouache. That sounds weird. Gouache on here, some watered down gouache. I had some life drawing studies of some plants underneath that have been kind of lost in this pattern. Portrait drawing. This was part of a figure drawing class I used to go to. Not even a class, just like a figure drawing meetup I used to go to in Malden, but totally butchered this girl's face. Trying to only draw with pen for a while. I would do a fast pencil underlay and then draw as fast as I could in pen. Not the best method. Then I would switch to just pen, and these looked a lot nicer. I really want to get back into doing figure drawing and stuff, but I just haven't had time. This was definitely in the winter when I drew this. I remember this. Just a little bit of a weird time for me in my life. I had just gotten out of a really serious relationship that I'd been in for about 5 years, and just kind of was feeling like garbage, and just kind of getting back out there and meeting people again. And I don't know, there's like a big change in my art at this point. It had completely changed. I wasn't as creative lately. I mean, I feel like I'm still sort of struggling with that. I'm not as open to try new things, and I'm a little bit more reserved when it comes to taking risks, just because I don't have a choice really anymore. And I don't know. It's definitely been affecting me for a long time. This is another one I did. Actually, I started drawing this on the train, and this is all done with a brush pen, like a really small brush pen. And I started messing up, and I don't know. I just wasn't super happy with it at first, but eventually I started to like it, and I actually ended up making some prints and stuff out of this and some sticker designs. Some more gouache experimentation, fast drawings, quick studies of things that I saw. Messing around with the gouache again, and just trying to do single brush stroke painting, just experimenting. This was for a gig poster. These were super fast sketches. I didn't really like most of them. This one was too metal. I was told it was going to be this melting hands. They said it was too metal for the event, so didn't end up going with that. I ended up doing something else that was still kind of a little graphic, but toned down substantially. Not a lot of shading, very simple. This was a concept idea for a painting that I've been trying to do for my cousin for close to 7 years, maybe longer, and I just can never get it right. I've done close to 30 sketches, and I'm never happy with how it looks, and I've never finished it. One day it'll happen. Chrissy, I promise I'm going to finish it one day. I think this is a little study. If you can see that, it's a little skull. Some more quick doodles. This is another one of those sketches that was rejected. Some more studies and concepts for some paintings that I never finished or even started. Scribbling with different types of materials. This is actually like a crayon and China marker. I really like China marker in my sketchbooks. On the textured paper stuff, it really stands out. This was some mold making ideas on how to duplicate a mold while using resin. I haven't tried it yet, but because of the shrink, it will have some variation, so I'm not sure if it'll work. some more little sketches and doodles for concepts for paintings and different things here. I have some toy design stuff here. It's a magic knife box, like a magician's knife box, but never ended up having time to make this one. I actually wanted to make this one out of metal and stuff. This is a little food dog type drawing. I actually carved that into a block, a little annoying block. Some quick sketches. This was actually for a logo for somebody, so I ended up doing that. This is around the time I think I just had started working for Converse. I was working in their custom printing section of one of their stores before I eventually moved into their innovations lab, and then onto their graphics team later on. These were mold design sketches on trying to reduce bubbles on Boomer. Boomer has definitely been the most difficult thing I've ever tried to make a mold of. I've had very little success of getting the bubbles out on most of the older resins. Eventually I figured something out and was able to make it work. These super thin sections were really difficult. Super fast sketches and studies. That's pretty much what the rest of this book is just fast sketches and studies. It's a little David Bowie tribute drawing. This is a face reference somewhere on Pinterest. I found that. This is based off of a very old classic iconic photo. This is going to be for another gig poster. I have some other doodles and sketches here. So I've had this idea for a long time. I actually ended up making this painting almost a year later, or a year and a half later. I went through and I saw this, and I actually made that. That's my No Time for Fear piece. I also have a video of that. I'll link that, so you guys can check that out if you want to see the process of that video. Oh yeah, these were cool. I was doing a lot of the isometric and geometric type illustrations. I was really getting into it for a while and doing most of it digitally, but I never continued with it. I just kind of got bored with it. This is a tag from somebody I met. I don't know what they actually write. I feel like they just said that they wrote graffiti to scribble in my book, but can't remember where this came from. But it's fine. This little sketch, this is kind of cool. I like this one a lot. The study of this eye is kind of sick. This little ghost is cute. These claws I liked a lot. Some tags and stuff. We'll probably blur those out. Just more personal things that I want to share. Some more lettering stuff. I'll probably be blurring this out. This was cool. I like this a lot actually. This was a fun little Reaper drawing. Wanted to do something more with, but never did. It just kind of kept it in the sketchbook. I draw too many skulls. It's a huge problem. I don't know if it's a huge problem, but I always, when I don't know what to draw, that's what I draw. I draw a skull. This was a study. So another study, drawing some chipmunks and some squirrels. This is a shading study to do metallic effects. This is more of that ink from that session. I never ended up drawing on most of these pages. A lot of them I just kind of liked how the raw color looked. I started doing some more stuff in here. Some letters. I was going to go do some graffiti piecing with this sort of effect and try to bring that to a wall, but never did. Yep. Alright, so that's most of the sketchbook here. Here's some of the tracings from the Bad Guys Club. I love these back flaps inside a sketchbook. These little folders are super awesome. I wish every sketchbook had them, but they don't. These are kind of fun too. These are actually little printed pieces of canvas. When I worked at the Converse store, they had a DTG, which is a direct-to-garment printer. And I experimented a little bit with kind of printing on the canvas there with some of the early 3D renderings of Boomer. So that's cool. Oh wait, the back of the sketchbook has something cool. Yeah. This is cool. I like to draw and put stickers all over my sketchbooks. I used to want to keep them completely all black and nothing went on them, and I would just have the date and be super clean and minimalist, but it's just not me. No matter how much I want it to be, it's just not how I am as an artist. I'm super messy, and it's whatever. I'm over it. But this was a fun one. I actually made a little stencil, spray painted the color in, used a bunch of different paint markers that all cracked on the spray paint. It would just crack right on top, wouldn't hold at all. Yeah, it was cool. It eventually ended up getting more and more paint on it from being kicked around in the studio and getting white paint and ink all over it. And, airbrushing in some pink. It was just messing around. It was super fun to do that. Some of the airbrush shading. This is a fun one for sure. I want to get back to this sort of thing, but we'll see. I got some other sketchbooks I can show you guys that I did after this one, and you can kind of see my motivation drop in my sketchbooking. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for checking out my sketchbook video. If you guys like the sketchbook video, definitely let me know. I mean, it's hard for me to share a lot of this stuff. It's super personal, you know. It's a difficult thing to talk about and share sometimes for artists to really let you into the private parts of their mind, and I don't know. I'm hesitant, but if you guys like it and you want to see more sketchbook videos, let me know in the comment section below. If you like what you saw today, definitely don't forget to like the video and subscribe. And yeah, that's going to do it. Wolf Bits out. Peace.